straight into it. So what I thought I'd quickly do is a quick update on Making Tax Digital. As you know, over the next three years, HM Revenue customers want to get all businesses and taxpayers to report quarterly their financial affairs to them. And they're starting April 18 with landlords and sole traders. Now, obviously with the snap election, they've decided to put on hold any information or releases on Making Tax Digital. So at the moment, we're sort of put on hold anything that we're doing in respect to Making Tax Digital. My personal opinion is that it will get back on track after the election, and I got a feeling they might maybe delay a year, maybe April 19 it will all might start. But I know a lot of the software companies are just full ahead. I know the beta testing is in process with quite a few firms. So it's definitely going to happen, and we'll see when it happens. The interesting point on that slide is obviously all businesses by 2020 need to be reporting quarterly to HM Revenue customers. A bit like a VAT return that you do now, but obviously your full accounts will get reported. And this is why they're obviously pushing that everyone should be using a cloud-based bookkeeping system to make this as efficient as possible. Cash basis for turnover, so for the smaller businesses, it has helped that the revenue are helping by accepting financial information on a cash basis. So what's going in and out of your bank account, you can report to the revenue on that basis, as opposed to what is traditionally on an invoice basis, which is what accounts are based on presently. So that's really quickly in Making Tax Digital. We'll maybe on the next webinar at the end of June, we'll be a lot clearer after the election, and so watch this space. So the idea of these webinars is to go through some quick wins that we've found when we're talking to clients, the issues that they're facing with Xero, and a lot of the comments, oh, I didn't know you could do that, oh, crikey, that's going to save me loads of time. So I do apologise if I am repeating myself from previous webinars if you have watched them, but that they are important to go through. So the first one are the bank feeds. It's really important that your bank feeds are set up. Now there's two forms of bank feeds. There's the Yodlee bank feed, which is a bit of software that sits in between the bank and Xero that pulls that information through on a daily basis, as opposed to a direct feed. The direct feed is where, as it hits your bank account, it will then go straight into the Xero system. So do set up your bank feeds if you can. We recently, Barclays have come on board with the direct feeds, and it makes life so much easier, because then you really are up to date with your bookkeeping. The charges are, I think it's £3 a month for as many bank accounts as you want with Barclays. And over time, I think the banks, as more come on board, that fee will start reducing, and it's only a matter of time before that is all for no cost. So do get your bank feeds. If you have issues with your bank feeds not working, then let us know, and we contact Xero. They're pretty good coming back to us. If you can't get your bank feeds, then you can do a CSV import, which is a bit of a pain, but it's a workaround. So really important. Bank rules. So that's another thing that a lot of people seem to forget. The bank rules page, I think, is one of their first pages that Xero set up, and it's not overly user friendly. So what I was going to do is just quickly show you in the demo company how the bank rules work and what the effect is of the bank rules. So I'm just going to pull across to this screen the demo company. So there's a couple of ways you can get into your bank rules. You can do it from that page there, the bank rules there, or you can go through onto the reconcile page. As you can see, next to each entry, there's create rule. And the idea is that anything that's not matching against an invoice, as you can see, these purchases and sales invoices are in there, and it's automatically matching. Anything that's going directly through the bank account, for example, the bank fee, every time it sees Ridgeway Banking Corporation, it will prompt you to go to bank fees. There's no VAT, and you just press OK. So it's worth putting the effort in to set these bank rules up. And and they're quite straightforward. You just click it through there, and you just follow the screens. A lot of these aren't relevant, but if you follow the format, then it will work. I won't do it for this one, but the idea is that it just saves you a lot of time, and you can see there's a couple of there already set up in the demo. So again, if you're not sure, this help screen here, there's videos, and the Xero videos are excellent. So it's worth just clicking on there if you're not 100% sure how those work. So that's the bank rules, Xero files, and upload invoices. So the idea with this is that, again, I'll go back onto the demo company, is that you can upload in this section here files that you want, or any other information, the contracts that we've got in there. Bank statements is really important to upload, and I'll show you to do with the bank reconciliation. I'll show you the bank reconciliations now. So what I try to get clients to do is to upload their bank statements at the end of each month, because even with bank feeds, you still need to reconcile the bank. So we learned really quickly that even when they're working, it doesn't necessarily mean the bank reconciliation is actually worked, because I have seen instances where the bank feeds are coming wrong, they're duplicated, or there are errors. Very rare, but you still need that reassurance that your bank statement agrees to what's in Xero. So we try to get people to upload those bank statements here. You can drag and drop, or you can just put this email address into your contacts in your Outlook, if you use Outlook or your Gmail, and then you can just forward anything to that email address, and it then pops up in here, and you can then start sorting it and putting it in folders that you like. So on bank reconciliations, so this is really important. So when you, I'll go back to the dashboard, and again, there's two ways to do your bank reconciliation. So on the bank account, you've got the reconciliation report there, or you've got the reconciliation report that you can do from there. So what we insist clients, and we do on a monthly basis where we're doing the bookkeeping, is that you run a bank reconciliation summary. So this summary shows a lot of outstanding checks, but say that was correct, you would then publish that report. And that publishing that report basically then goes, I'll show you this in a minute, goes to reports published, and it shows that you have published that bank reconciliation because you have reconciled it, and you agree, the bank statement agrees to the figure in Xero. And then on top of that, if you've got a copy of the bank statement, it can be a PDF, it can be anything in there as well. It just confirms that you know, and we know, if we're doing the bookkeeping and the accounts, that every month the bank is reconciling, which is obviously very important. So that's to do with the bank rec. And you can always go back to all reports, and then anything that's published. So if you notice back returns are published in there, if you then finish the back return, and then all your bank reconciliations there, and you can go and do things, export them to PDF and do other things there by clicking on the dots. Also, whilst I'm in here, it's really important that if you've customized or you've created your own report templates and you want to save them, when it gives you an option to save or publish it, that you want to save it as a custom report, because that custom report means that every time you want that report, which is what I've done here previously, just go in, that report is now, it's like a saved report, and you can then change the dates accordingly, and gives you those reports. So again, it's handy to know if you've got a lot of report templates that you work with. Connect the Office 365 or Gmail. Again, this is quite neat if you're if you want to keep a track of a lot of your correspondence within Xero, which a lot of people are now doing. So the idea is that, okay, maybe for credit control, if I pull up ABC Furniture from the contacts, there's now a tab here. So I don't know if people use this a lot, but this is basically a really good record to show all the transactions and anything to do with that customer in one place. If you then click on the email, you can now connect your Office or 365 email to Xero, and it gives you the option. So again, really worth doing. Maybe play around with it. Again, watch the video if you're not sure. The video will guide you through exactly how it works and how it links in. Quite a few clients are now using that and find that really powerful, especially credit control, or if there's notes on a job or anything like that. A good little tip on the 365 and Gmail. Right, so we've got PayPal or Stripe connection. Now, for those of you listening who take payments by PayPal or Stripe, Xero have got a really good connection with these two, and not a lot of people are actually aware of how it works. So I'm going to cheat a little bit because I watched the video that Xero did only a couple of days ago, and I thought it was very well put and better than the way I would do it, because they've connected their PayPal account in their demo. So bear with me, it's only about 2 or 3 minutes long, just to show you what they did and how you can use that. So if I play this video, it should come out quite clear if I turn the speakers up.
If you go back over to the Home tab, what I want to go and then have a look at is this PayPal and Stripe workflow. And I can't believe so many people aren't using it. So make sure that you are setting it up correctly and using it to its full advantage. And what I'm going to do in this case is go into my Collins Coffee. So let's jump into my Collins Coffee organization. And what I want to go and do is move over into accounts and sales. You'll notice already I have under my draft tab an invoice that's ready and waiting. And just for ease of use, I'm going to quickly copy this over to the new invoice. So remember, you can copy any transaction pretty much over to any other transaction. So if I go to copy to, you'll notice I can create an invoice, a quote, purchase order, or a bill. Of course, you can just go and create an invoice from scratch, or maybe you want to create an invoice even quicker by using inventory items or something like that. So let's go and create it for Mia's Boutique again, and click copy. So really quickly and easily, you'll notice that the invoice is now created. And what I really want to focus on is what branding theme I'm using for this particular invoice. Now you'll notice that there is no option for branding theme, and that's actually because I've only got one branding theme set up. But I do want to go and show you how to set up the branding theme correctly, and in terms of the payment services, to make sure you're maximizing on the feature with PayPal and Stripe. So if you go over to settings and we go into invoice settings and quickly open that in a new tab there, I can then jump in here and you'll notice that I've only got the standard branding theme set up. And that's why you haven't got the option within the invoice to actually choose an alternative one, because there is only one available. The one particular area I want to go and then have a look at is payment services. So if we jump into here, you'll notice I've already set up my PayPal payment service. If you do want to add Stripe as well, you can go in here and add in your Stripe payment service. What you then need to go and do is click Manage Themes once you've set this up. So you can see there, you've got PayPal on the standard branding theme, and you could also go and add in Stripe as your credit card service as well. Now, if I go and click Edit on this and click Service Details, this is where you need to make sure that you've set this up. Because if you haven't ticked this really key tick box, Automate My Fees, you're not maximizing on the integration available with PayPal and Stripe. So make sure you tick Automate My Fees. Once you tick that box, you can then go and choose the PayPal Fees chart of account code. So this is where Xero will place the fees within the reporting. So make sure you've got a PayPal fee or equivalent chart of account code set up, select it on here, and this is where the power of the automation comes in. So make sure we've saved that, and then everything will work automatically. So we've set up the payment service, we've chosen the automation, and we've chosen the chart of account code, and we've also got that associated with our standard branding theme. All right, so that's all set up. What we can then quickly go and do in here is just check off the invoice. Everything looks okay to me. We're going to sell a keep cut. Don't forget, you can also add in description only lines. Often people say to me, actually, when will Xero add in custom columns? You don't necessarily need to add in a custom column, because you can add in a custom row. And all you need to make sure you do is you enter some information in the description field and nothing else. And you will then be able to add that description only line. We're then going to go and click approve, and then that invoice is ready to rock and roll. We could, of course, preview or email it out, but for ease of this presentation, all I'm going to go and do is click invoice options, share invoice, and this is your online invoicing link. So if people are scratching your head and wondering where that's gone, that's where it's gone. Invoice options, share, and if I click into this, I can then see the online invoice. Now, obviously, you've got all of the features of online invoicing available, such as collaboration, etc. But the one thing I want to show you in terms of the automation is this Pay Now button. So click into Pay Now, and as you can see, because I'm already signed in on my PayPal account, I have the one-touch feature available. So this will automatically load up if you are signed in. So remember, we're looking at a customer perspective here. PayPal's already logged me in, and all I need to go and do to pay this is click continue. You can also use this on a mobile device, so it's really slick and easy to do. As you can see, payment successful, click OK, and I've got a nice big paid banner along the top of this invoice. The beauty of Xero and the integration with these two payment services now is if I go back onto the invoice and I refresh the page, you'll notice automatically on the bottom right-hand side that payment has now been applied for you automatically. So all I've done is send out that sales invoice, my customers then paid that, Xero has applied the payment, and if we move over to the dashboard and into the PayPal bank account, you'll notice because Xero automatically accounts for the paid or the receipt amount, as well as the fee, you've got the auto match as well. So no more messing around with bank rules or using the bank fee adjustment feature within the reconciliation to have to deal with those fees. Xero does all of the work for you. Really, really slick. And if any of you are dealing with PayPal or Stripe, then make sure that you're using this feature to its best, and then set up and make sure you're using this feature to its maximum and do all of that setup that I just mentioned.
Right, so I thought that was really interesting because there was a couple of things in there that I learned, especially about putting the notes on the invoices just on a row, which will help. Also, whilst I'm there, what I think I might do is just quickly show another idea on how to speed up creating invoices. So again, that was quite clever that you can just copy invoices. So if you know you've created an invoice previously and you just want to do it, you don't have to type all the details in again, so you can just create and just copy some invoices across. Quite a few clients set up inventory. This inventory enables you to put in sort of item codes, and these item codes, especially if you've got quite a long list of sales products that you sell or training or anything, services, by just entering these codes when you create your sales invoice just saves you a load of time, because you can then put in a lot of this data already. So for example, I go in and create a sales invoice. Also, whilst I'm here, rather than what I did, go there, sales, new, you can go here. So you go straight to plus and you can create an invoice straight away from there. And they have just changed the ordering of this as well. So they're putting all the more popular items at the top. So if you create an invoice from there, just again, will save a lot of time. So just really quickly, if I'm going to raise an invoice, and if you look, if I can just put the B in, it'll come up with book, and it pre-fills the whole invoice. So again, really quick, especially if you're on the road, rather than having to type anything on your pad, just saves a huge amount of time. So I thought I'd quickly share that with you. I'll come back to the add-on marketplace at the end. Invoice reminders. So the invoice reminders, again, is quite a neat way to automate your collection of your sales invoices. So if you go, let me just expand that. So if you go to your sales summary, you get you can see there this invoice reminders tab is on. Again, you can send statements from here, and you can email those statements for all your suppliers. So again, this is really worth testing. The only word of warning is that if you use this, then you've got to make sure that your bookkeeping is up to date on a daily basis if possible, because you don't want to obviously be sending email reminders out, chasing debts when it was paid last week because it's not up to date. Again, really quick, really easy, add reminders. You can really customize this. Definitely worth playing along. You can put minimum levels that you don't want to chase, and you can attach the PDFs to them. So again, it will help. So if you're doing your payment services, your PayPal and Stripe will go cardless, and you're getting your invoice reminders being sent out on a regular basis, you're making it a lot easier for your customers to pay you without you having to hopefully do too much. Account watch list is the other thing. Just really quickly, on your dashboard, if there are certain accounts that you want to keep an eye on, you can then put them in your account watch list, and you can keep an eye on what's going on rather than having to start drilling in within the software to try and find out maybe how much you've spent on advertising. To do that is basically in your chart of accounts. When you click on, so we want to look at postage stationery, when you click on that, there is the tick box. You tick that, show on dashboard, and very quickly, if you go back to your dashboard, it will now show the post printing and stationery as a figure if there was anything in there. So again, just a quick win, worth bearing that in mind for your watch list. So receipt bank and versus Xero files. So we get this asked quite a lot. How am I doing with time? I've got 5-10 minutes. That should be okay. Expense claims. So what we've put together for clients is a system where they can, especially where you've got a lot of salesmen out on the road or a lot of time extensive work putting together expense claims on Excel or adding them up on a sheet. So we're trying to automate this as much as we possibly can. And we've put together a system that Emma in the office created, just basically walking through exactly how Receipt Bank works, how you upload the receipts. We've taken screenshots so we can help clients show exactly what it looks like on the mobile, and what the expense claims look like once you've finished. So it's really good way of doing that. But what I'm going to do is show you a demo company of Receipt Bank. So Receipt Bank basically scans and document reads all your purchase invoices. So I've got one here that a client has taken a picture of from his Wix. So if you scan on there, you can see he's taken a picture, uploaded it on his mobile, and uploaded it to Receipt Bank. And what Receipt Bank has done is read all of that information. So it knows it's Wix, it knows the amount, it knows the VAT, and it actually knows what card is being used, and it's actually prompted and says, we want to post that to purchases. If you're happy with that, then you publish that, and that then gets moved. As you can see, it's publishing, and that gets transferred straight into Xero. So hopefully, by the time I finish talking about it, it might have appeared in the Xero file. And now, obviously, this can be used as a document management system. So there you've got the suppliers. If I want to find that invoice for Wix, if it's put in there, they're already in there. If I want to have a look at what invoices are in there, what's archived, there you go. You've got your invoices in there, and you can then pull them up and have a look. So you're moving towards sort of a paperless system. So it's still publishing. So, but what will happen is then, if I go into JNS and I go into the purchases, I did one previously. It's actually pulled in some of these invoices that we've already that let's see, what I'll do is just show you, well, because that hasn't come through yet from Receipt Bank, that in the files we actually oh, I see, I did it in the demo company, so I did upload an invoice just to show what the effect would be on the demo company. So if you see, right, so this is the alternative to Receipt Bank. So Receipt Bank will put that invoice straight into the purchases. Hopefully it will be done very shortly. Or you can send that to this email box here, or you can upload the file, the folder in a traditional way. But what it's done is then I've got an invoice of that petrol. And what you can do within Xero is you can actually post it from that bill. So what it'll do is split the screen, and you can see you can start posting it from there, and you can zoom in, and you can actually then start posting the bill within Xero and here. And as you can see, it actually attaches a copy of that invoice or the bill to the actual posting in Xero. So can you see the difference between Receipt Bank and Xero? Xero, you've actually then got to do a little bit of work and actually input the figures from the receipt, whereas Receipt Bank does it all automatically once you've approved it and published it from Receipt Bank. So what I'm going to do is just quickly see if that's come through. Yeah, let's see, you got one item successfully published to Xero. If I then go into, if I go back into JNS, and I should have in my purchases, there you go. So I've got waiting approval, got that invoice there. So it's brought everything through itself, even with a copy of the invoice, waiting for someone to go through and approve it. So you can see how if you've got a huge amount of paperwork, how that could save huge amounts of time. And there you've got it. It's actually split the Xero rated purchase as well, which is quite good. And there's the invoice if you need to refer to the invoice. So that's Receipt Bank. Definitely worth doing for expenses for salesmen. Again, definitely worth doing it for volume-driven businesses. A lot of the invoices, especially now where suppliers now email a lot of the information. You can even tell your suppliers that email it to a designated address within Receipt Bank. So very similar to the Xero address. You've got your own dedicated address, email address within Receipt Bank. So that was to do with Receipt Bank. Yeah, so really that's just confirming what we've talked about on Receipt Bank and Xero files. If you want more details on Receipt Bank, let me know. Advanced reporting. So this, I was going to just show you quickly in the demo company, some changes that Xero have made in their reporting templates, making it a lot easier to really customize your reports. That was maybe one of their biggest downfalls when they first sort of launched. You couldn't, the reports weren't very flexible. You were pretty stuck with what you could get. But now, if I run a profit and loss report for the demo company, try and use the new reports if you're using reports as much as you can, because you have huge amounts of flexibility. If I then run a P&L for the last financial year and update, it will show me that. So there's not much I can do, but maybe I want to compare the previous year, or I want to add year-to-date figures, and I really want to customize this report. Edit the report, it brings you to another screen, and here you've got some of the tabs at the top. So I'm going to create a new column and call it and date it, maybe the year-to-date figure, and call it years to date. I need to move my picture. And you can see really quickly, I've now got a year-to-date figure. If I want to compare the previous year and add another column, So I can do, or quarter to date, or I can even custom. So I can put in the custom date. I think you've got the idea. Done. And it gives me more flexibility. I can pull anything out. You can move columns around really quickly, just drag and drop. So if I want that over there, that'll put that in the first column, and so forth. So really easy to move. Again, worth playing around with this. You can add rows as well as columns and really customize these reports. So that's reports. And then what I was going to show very quickly is then using Futurely, bit of software that we use, which is a shame because it's just logged me out, so I've got to log back in. So we use this for some bespoke reports, and we like this because they're really helpful, and they've actually created some reports, example reports based on certain sectors. So again, we can use a lot of this data for recruitment clients that we use. Gives you the template to start really being creative with reports and looking at what your sales performance is, and also your non-financial KPIs that you want to monitor as well. So you can just CSV in this data, so gives you all your information on one place. So when you're doing your monthly meetings or sales meetings, you can have all this information at hand. Also, what we like again is the alert system. So within the alert system, you can set up certain alerts. So for example, if a certain cost item you don't want it to exceed a certain amount, it can email you information. Or if the bank balance, you don't want it to drop a certain amount, or keep an eye on your VAT limit, you can set these up, and it's a really neat way to keep an eye on what's coming up. It even will send you maybe a warning that something's going to happen in the future. So that's really quickly a bit of software we use to really dig into some of the financial figures that maybe Xero can't give you. Again, you can, I've done this previously, I won't show it now, but within the system you can create forecasts really quickly, and a touch of a button if you've got a year's worth of Xero already on the system. So that's the advanced reporting. And what I wanted to do is quickly, I haven't touched on this before, see some of the add-ons that are out there. Insightly is quite a nice, neat add-on that deals with sales processes and CRM. So what again I thought I'd do is show a really quick video, because their videos are quite good, and it just shows you in a nutshell what Insightly is and how that can maybe help your sales process if you have like a sales funnel that you need to keep an eye on. So I'll just show this video. I think it's a couple of minutes.
Maybe all your business comes from word of mouth referrals, or maybe you've got 100 reps calling leads every day. Either way, you've got a sales process, one that you've spent a lot of time and energy developing to make sure your prospects are taken care of from first touch to the closed deal. Insightly is designed to adapt to that process, and once you're moved in, you'll be able to sell faster, smarter, and with a new level of visibility and control. Let's take a look at how it works. Every person your business has a relationship with, prospect or customer, will have their own Insightly contact record. Same goes for organizations. But for sales, we want to focus on prospects and deals that are in your funnel. So for all that, Insightly has these two record types, leads and opportunities. Together, they operate as your sales command center. A lead is a new prospect, a person you might do business with but haven't established a relationship with yet. New leads can be brought in automatically through a form on your website or an integrated app, or they can be entered manually. Insightly can automate lead assignment and follow-up tasks too. When a lead is qualified, it's converted to an opportunity for tracking everything about the deal, like status, key info, stakeholders, emails, events, and documents. Going a level deeper, custom pipelines let you make sure that every opportunity gets worked in the right way. As the opportunity moves from stage to stage, custom activity sets are fired off. Everyone knows what to do and when to do it. And to automate your sales process, workflows can do the heavy lifting. They'll assign tasks, change statuses, or even send out emails all on their own based on whatever criteria you decide. When a deal closes, You can convert the opportunity straight to a project for managing all your post-sale processes. Every detail of the deal gets carried over with it. And while all this is happening, Insightly reports collect and process your sales data, so you can see what's happening now and what's projected to happen down the road, and then use what you've learned to make more informed decisions. So that's it, your sales process in Insightly. Now, get started closing some deals or check out this related content to learn more.
So that was a really good video, a couple of minutes, just shows you really quickly how Insightly works. And then also what is important is the integration with Xero. So again, very quickly, another really quick video just shows you how Insightly works with Xero.
How can your company get paid faster, save time, and stay ahead of unpaid invoices and bills? Get ready to complete the picture of your customer relationships and accounting without breaking the bank. While your invoices and bills live in Xero, Insightly CRM seamlessly captures relevant details about each customer, supplier, or prospect, and automatically saves every interaction. From that first time you've reached out to when they sent photos from their kid's birthday, let's take a closer look at the connection between Xero and Insightly. When you turn on integration, specify which Insightly users can access a Xero subtab in Contacts, Organizations, Projects, and Opportunities. Insightly finds a matching contact in Xero, or lets you create a new one and auto-merge Insightly details. Now everything about your customer or supplier is in one place. And how about saving even more time for your team? Now sales can draft invoices right when the customer says yes. Any new contacts or invoices created in Insightly sync to your Xero account. You can also set up shortcuts in Xero to view details of linked contacts in Insightly. Insightly and Xero, both born in the cloud, delighting small businesses together. Try and love your CRM.
So I thought maybe every month I'm going to pull out an add-on, a Xero add-on that I think could be useful to businesses. But in the meantime, if you want to have a look at the add-on marketplace, this is where you find it within Xero. So if you go to their Xero.com, features and tools, and you've got the app marketplace. And if you click on there, it will then bring up whether you want a business type. So if you're in a certain sector, you can have add-ons to do with maybe franchises, or if you just want an app based on a certain product, again here. So really good. There's loads in there, receipt banks in there, obviously we were talking about, and lots to look at, which could really make a big difference to make your business a lot more efficient. So that was the app marketplace. And very right at the end, so I've got a 10 minutes over, which isn't too bad. I could have been talking for another hour or so. These are the guys here in the office who will help you with Xero. If you've got any questions, then more than welcome to ask us. So I'm just checking, I've got no Q&A, which is a good sign. Obviously, I've dealt with everything really well. Look out for the next webinar, and thanks for listening, and hopefully speak to you soon. Thank you.